You let me in your world and show me that you care. You understand me, you let me be me. You understand me, and I wanna let you know. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute. Bouncing on it, gonna dance everywhere. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute, so cute. And I wanna let you know. Stuck in those, I don't care. It's never ending, but there's hope somewhere. All that matters to me is that you're always there, checking up on me and show me that you care. You understand me, you let me be me. You understand me, and I wanna let you know. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute. Bouncing on it, gonna dance everywhere. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute, so cute. And I wanna let you know. Wanna feel this all night long. Cuddle up and sing this song. Wanna feel this all night long. This is where I feel I belong. And I have my trust in you. I'll be so lost without you. And I have my trust in you. And I wanna let you know. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute. Bouncing on it, gonna dance everywhere. You make me feel so cute. Every day I feel so cute. Yeah, you make me feel so cute, so cute. And I wanna let you know. And I wanna let you know.
This is my escape. I'm running through this world and I'm not looking back. 'Cause I know I can go where no one's ever gone and I'm not looking back. But how will I know when I get there? And how will I know when to leave? We've all got to start from somewhere, and it's right there for me. The possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach. And the possibility, I see it now. It's always been inside of me, and now I feel so free. And the possibility. And so we'll carry on. My time to shine has come. I feel it. As fast as I can go, straight to the top. I know you'll see it. So please wake me up when I get there. It feels like I'm lost in a dream. I know in my heart it's my time, and I already see the possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach. And the possibility, I see it now. It's always been inside of me, and now I feel so free. And the possibility.
Hey. Ugh. How y'all doing? I got a feeling today's gonna be a bit of a quiet one. Even more so than usual at this rate. Pretty good. I'm kind of blah today. I don't know what it is. I'm just my head's my brain blah. I said I don't really have anything planned. Mainly because I know that nobody else will likely be getting on today. Ugh. Hmm. I'm kind of just ready to just vibe today. Like, energy is not the highest. There's not that many people about, so I'm just like, yeah. Hey, all. Bum, 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 bum. Thanks, Jake.
Yes, we will both do this together.
Spy. Thank you for the gift subs. Christ, listen. You got pretty close to the goal this month, I'll admit that. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any interesting worlds to explore or just to relax in.
Yes, we will both do this together.
Jake. Thank you for the gift subs. Ba, 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 ba.
Yes, we will both do this together.
Rim! 18! Jesus Christ! You literally just did that just to reach the goal, didn't you? Hi, Nathan. Goodness sake. Here I am just trying to chill and you guys start giving me stuff. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bam. Now you're just trying to show off. Oh, they got one for this avatar. I wanted to check. I wanted to see this avatar. Thank you, and my brain just isn't being all that creative today. Alright. It's one of these weird avatars where you need to mess around the tracking. There we go. Because I've still got locomotion on this. Seriously, what maker? Who keeps locomotion on these avatars? Yeah, I just saw this on Booth and I thought like this actually looks kind of my style. I'm surviving, Johan. That's all I can really say. Ba, ba, ba,
My timing could not have been worse.
What do you mean?
I joined on you a little ago, and you already left.
Oh.
That's what I mean. And the funny thing, this place reminds me of Nier Replicant.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So I just love the fact that this avatar you can raise and lower the mask.
Manually pull and raise the mask. That's neat.
Face mask as well. It's kind of got a bit of a Splatoon vibe to it, and I really love it.
I can see it.
Hmm. Trying to just figure this out.
I'm safe down here.
Are you sure about that?
This is so scuffed.
Boing boing.
I could just
Get out if
suffer
everything's
these
working.
seats. That's so dumb.
So you might be able to like throw these grenades as well. It just makes me. Well, that's how you do it. Swan, there was like a reloading animation for it as well. Ah, bit of a hassle, but
It takes some getting used to.
hmm.
Well, what it looks of it, anyways.
Yeah, I like this avatar. See, but I kind of promised myself that I wasn't going to buy new ones. Ah, see, because this is just my style. It's very similar to my other avatar. Thank you, Jake. What do you mean, just in case? See, the more I see this, the more I mess around with this avatar, the more I love it. I'm not gonna buy it, as much as I want to. I promised
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I need it. Sorry.
Jake, you stop it. Because I think this is like, is it like 70? It's like probably about £50, or the equivalent.
You know, I keep forgetting how pricey Avies and stuff can be. Because, like, you know,
Spy.
it's all digital and stuff.
Hmm.
But it's like, oh, wow. It can be like 50 plus bucks. And it's like, damn. All that for a bunch of data.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, people's time and effort thrown into this. So it's like, so it's in a way like the way I've basically made my brain understand why it's so expensive. It's like commissioning someone for art, or whatever. It's like they invest all their time and experience and shit for this stuff. That's why it's like it winds up being so pricey and stuff. At least that's how I've made my brain wired
Like,
to understand it.
I definitely understand it. Like they've put so much time into it, so they deserve the, that's
Definitely something back.
Hmm.
Yeah, especially since they're just putting it out there for purchase into the public. Well, I mean, you know how it is sometimes. Like, no, you can't make a public version of the avatar, or only private, custom private, or you can't stream with it and shit. I know I've heard a lot of people not being happy with that last one. Oh, you can buy it, but you can't stream with it. It's like, okay,
yeah,
what's the point then?
that's ones I don't understand. Like, why would you not want people to use it on their streams?
Like, it's effectively, like, especially with the people we know, it's like, oh wow, that's so pretty. Where'd you get the avatar? Oh, it's from Booth. Please support the original creator. It's like, you're getting free fucking promotion. Like, why wouldn't you want your shit to be out there? At least your name getting thrown around from stream to stream and on a fucking basically international platform. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. I'm certain there was an avatar that was quite popular, which the creator didn't want on people's streams.
Is it like a Devil Girl Abby? Because I think I may know which one it is. Black hair, like pinkish eyes.
I honestly can't remember for the. It's been a while.
I know there is one. There is one. There's one freaking like succubus Devil Girl avatar that it's not allowed on anybody's stream, or yeah. That's also another thing. It's like, okay, you yourself are not allowed to have it, but it's like, oh, somebody that happens to be on screen or on stream with the Avi, like, well, that's out of their hands and not their fault or problem. But you know how whiny people can be about that type of semantics. I think you could call it semantics. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like I say, people just have kind of could be very picky about about certain details, and it's like, why be so picky?
Like, I'm picky about food because I'm a spoiled bitch, but that's different.
To every word. Okay, trying to get this mask down is.
Try with the other hand.
I've been getting it. So far. It's just. It's like I get an icon appears when you've grabbed it.
Looks like you keep grabbing your hair instead.
There we go.
There it is.
Because this mask reminds me of Whisper from the Sonic comics.
Do not recognize the name.
Yeah, she's one of the original characters for the comics.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, she's a fennec fox, but she has like a big. Ooh, didn't realize it was a low mask. It's fun to just mess around with stuff like this.
Yeah, speaking of Abbeys and everything, wanna know where I got this small bean?
I feel like I've seen
The
it.
new Abbey Museum 7.
Yeah, I had a feeling I'd seen it.
And this is like a smaller version of a kid avatar. So this one's called like Mini Waffle. Which kind of fits it.
Wanna get it for you.
Oh, this isn't too much.
Oh.
Don't think the avatar's super heavy.
I love how that's basically become like the new Padaru.
Effectively, yeah. Okay, you know the funny thing? Literally, I showed this after we were all done watching the show. I mean, no, you were there. I think, yeah, you were there. So I basically DM'd Vix the booth link for this Avi. Hell knows what she'll make with it.
It makes me laugh because it's like I've known about that character for years.
Oh no, yeah. So you know about Fate, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all under like the same license or
Mhm.
whatever the hell. I really found out about this little shit from Carnival Phantasma, the crossover gag anime.
Yeah, that's when most of us learned about the character.
Yeah, and then it turns out, oh no, it's way older from this
It is part of like
retro fighting game called Melty Blood or whatever.
yeah, it was like it's been part of like because it's like part of like the Type Moon universe, which is like includes Fate and Melty Blood and all these others.
So many other stuff, yeah, and like this universe is so fucking scary because you have like basically three main franchises that all take place in the same world, whatever. And then, but there's Fate by itself that takes place in several different timelines where shit happens and doesn't happen. Like, boy, this shit's confusing.
Yeah, don't try and explaining the Fate franchise.
Head hurty. Too much inconsistency. And like the three different there's three original things, just Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works within Heaven's Feel. Like those were confusing by themselves. Then we have Zero, Extra, Apocrypha, and now with the anime around the corner, Fate Strange Fake.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming.
Yeah, like I saw like the trailer for it a long time ago, and then now they just released more trailers of it. And of course, they have Gilgamesh and Enkidu front and center in some of the adverts for it.
Gilgamesh, the guy you love to hate.
Yeah. Like I understand his archer form is the strongest, but I prefer his caster just because he's less of a dick.
Hmm.
Then again, there's the whole screwy thing of, oh yeah, you're summoning historical figures, but also from certain parts from their stories. So apparently, Archer Gil is before he challenges Ishtar and kills the Bolt of Heaven with Enkidu. But for him doing that, that's why Archer Gil's like so cocky and shit, right? The ass we all know from Zero, Stay Night, and shit.
Trying to
But
follow
then
all these
Caster
legends
Gilgamesh.
is just more confusing than the Fate franchise.
Oh no, yeah. They have a lot of material to gender bend. That's for damn sure.
Trying to decipher the
No,
Fate franchise could bring a nuclear scientist to madness. You're not wrong.
Yes.
See
but, no, yeah.
all these weird videos people keep coming up with, and it's like, no, that's the one I want to see. I want to try and see like this an absolute genius trying to decipher the Fate franchise, and just watch them actually go crazy.
What's I saying? Yeah, but Caster Gilgamesh is supposed to be the humble one. The one that went through a lot of shit. He lost his friend for his best friend Enkidu for defying the gods and shit. Tried to bring him back. That kind of failed. And tried to become immortal because after he realized losing his friend, like, oh wait, I'm still mortal. I can die of old age and other shit. Let me go get this seaweed that'll make me immortal. A snake naps it from behind him. Apparently, that's the origin. Well, mythological origin of why snakes shed their skin.
Ah, yeah.
Funny enough. And then it's like,
Wait,
I've
I
been
think
acting
that's
like a little shit all my life. Then I got bamboozled by a hungry snake that ate my immortality seaweed.
Wasn't the first the first snake skin? Wasn't that what was used to summon Gilgamesh in Fate Zero?
Yes. Calcified, well, maybe not calcified, but yeah, fossilized snake skin. Which is a fitting catalyst when you know his story.
The only Fate Zero, the only Fate video I've watched was Get Up trying to explain it. It's like, ooh. I mean, good video, but still.
I've followed this one guy on YouTube that covers a lot of Fate in general. Specifically, Fate Grand Order. Like, he actually covers the original myth and the in-franchise version. Because, they change shit around and whatever. But, yeah. And back to my original point, I prefer Caster Gilgamesh over Archer Gilgamesh because he's still loud and proud and whatever, but he is way, way nicer than the asshole Archer version we all know. Like, the best example I can give people is like, just watch the Fate Grand Order Babylonia.
I still haven't watched that. I keep wanting
it's
to.
Alright.
Yeah, I keep meaning to, but it's just it's never been in a convenient place for me. Like all the other Fate anime I could easily watch because I was just the right place at the right time. But that one always in a weird place.
I remember I watched all by myself Fate Zero, but I haven't brought myself to watch all the way sit all the way through any other one. I did play Fate Extella, which is like a sequel to Fate X, so the Fate Extras, the Dynasty Warriors kind of game.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. I tried to platinum it, but I lost track of how you get what, so I just decided to start from a clean slate and never finished it.
Yeah, like I
do want to play Stella Link.
Yeah,
though.
I got into Fate from the original anime.
So Studio Dean.
Yeah. Dean Stay Night.
Yeah.
And it's like that was back in
that was
Dragon. I just remembered. Yeah, that was that was at a time when like everybody was kind of still new to the Fate franchise, so hardly any of us knew about it. So even though we
And
look
then
back
years
at
later, we found out it was from a horny game.
it's like it's kind of funny because it's like at the time I remember a lot of people being quite positive towards the anime. But obviously as time has gone by, it's like people go new.
In retrospective, it's not as great as everybody said it was.
But
But
it's like
then
if
again, like when you see like the go ahead. All right.
it's like if it hadn't been for that, then when Fate Zero was announced, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
Oh no, I mean some things always have to start from somewhere.
Hmm.
And then like here's the thing: there's the changes to from Dean to Ufotable, and like you see the quality of shit from like Zero, Stay Night, Heaven, Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven Seal. Like that shit is so they know how to do their stuff.
Hmm.
I still remember I hear people wanting Madhouse to take a stab at animating Fate, and I mean, like just look at the first season of
Oh.
One Punch Man and the Hellsing OVAs, Hellsing Ultimate, the style of animation and action, and
yeah,
something like that.
I definitely agree.
In
I mean,
Fate.
let's face it, Madhouse and Trigger. Getting those two studios to
Oh,
do anything would be like amazing for the Fate franchise.
oh yeah. Too bad Studio Madhouse doesn't do more than one season for shit.
They'd be stubborn.
I mean, they do quality work.
Yeah.
That's
Just that's
for damn
what
sure.
that's what bugs me is like because obviously they did No Game No Life, and then they they bugged us like crazy. Like rather than doing a second season of that, no, let's do a prequel movie.
Oh yeah, that.
It's like I
Remind
like
me,
that movie,
I
but
know
why a
Studio
prequel movie?
Trigger. Yeah, I know Studio Trigger is the one that did Kill la Kill, yeah?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying. Aren't they also? I'm probably thinking it's probably a different studio. But aren't they the ones behind the new Trigun?
No, that's a different studio.
Also, the new Trigun's actually pretty good.
I was never really that into Trigun, but nothing against it.
I mean, it's kind of like. I mean, I like it, but looking at it, it's like. It's also a bit of a niche. So it's like not everybody.
Yeah, it's like
be...
when people say it's one of their favorites, like I have no like I don't question it. I just think, well, good for you. It's just not for me.
You know, looking at it now, it's like it's like a similar setting to some of the Borderlands games. Desert planet, weird as shit, alien creatures and monsters, and the people are either crazy or weirdly normal. As normal as can be, anyways.
A lot of people who are good at what they do don't like being told what to do exactly.
Also true.
And just look at the state of the Halo. Look at the state of the Halo franchise. They were being ordered what to do, and it's caused that colossal mess.
Still, for me, the last Halo was Reach.
Yep.
Which technically was the last Halo, the last Bungie made Halo, anyways.
Oh yeah, like I remember being really excited for Halo 4, because I wasn't really because it's like I wasn't really paying attention to this stuff. I was just thinking, oh, new Halo. I got the special edition, played it, and I am not even kidding. Within the first few minutes, I was already a bit pissed off.
Me, like I liked it. It's like knowing a lot more, like So basically, I've seen series like Halo and Devil May Cry around the time,
Hmm.
or a little later, Ninja Theory 1 came out.
Hmm.
And Ninja just knowing about the name. It's like, oh, hey, this is cool. How does this tie into the rest of it? Oh, it's a reboot. The studio behind it are like a bunch of no.
That's the
Gameplay's
that's
cool.
that's the biggest problem with DMC was that they tried to do this reboot and they were completely disregarded everything that made the original good. But what they
the funny thing
what-
from what I
well,
go ahead.
it's like the game itself is a solid game, but because they treated the past lineage of the franchise with such absolute disregard,
Little respect.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody turned against it. And it's one of those things like if they had been continuing like the main series, but then had DMC being like its own little like kind of like a spin-off essentially.
Spin-off kind of thing. Yeah. You know the funny thing? Originally, prototype designs for DMC Dante were similar to his original, but and this is the thing that not a lot of people know. It was actually Capcom that pushed for the changes.
Oh
trying to
yeah,
make it
because
more,
they were going.
quote, wrestler.
Yeah, because they were definitely trying. They were in the point in time where they really were trying to focus on Western players. So they wanted all their games to appeal to Westerners. So all the characters, all their
here's the
games
thing.
looked very had a more realistic
Yeah.
design, less anime, and people hated it.
And yeah, 5 hit Devil May Cry 5 hit. I'd say hit a good in between point of still like being like the old shit, but being like what they wanted it to be. It hit a good sweet spot of kind of being like realistic and whatever, but still being the good old goofy cheesy shit that everybody fucking loves of the franchise. So what the franchise is known for.
Yep.
Narratively, at least. Goodness.
Because I mean that's
no,
that's
yeah.
when it comes to like Halo. That's one of the reasons why I really hated the art style for Halos 4 and 5. As soon as I saw Master Chief's new armor for those games, I was like, that looks shit.
Okay, fair. I will say I do like his bulkier design, but it's like the old Mjolnir is what everybody knows the Chief for. Even in fucking Fortnite, and that's kind of technically the one they added in Fortnite is the Halo Legends Mjolnir he uses, the one that has his number on his chest. Like everybody knows him for wearing the old all green Mjolnir.
Yeah, it's
not this mix that he's.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
now.
that's what's really annoyed me with Halo 4 because I always
They didn't stick to his iconic design.
no.
Yeah.
It was how they explained it narratively, because between
he just went to sleep in the thing. He's been there for years.
yeah, like between like Halo 1 and Halo 2, they actually came up with a reason why Chief's armor changes, because he's just getting upgraded at the start of Halo 2. Makes sense.
Yeah, from 5 to 6.
Yeah, given a narrative explanation.
I remember, I think even in the tutorial mission, the guy that's like, okay, gotta calibrate your armor and everything. By the way, you fucked up your old one. That's gonna be a lot of money. You know that, buddy, right? Chief does not give a shit.
Yeah. But then at the start of Halo 4, Chief's already in like the new armor. And
the mix.
yeah,
It's still the old. It's still the give me a minute. It's still technically the Mjolnir helmet, even though the design's completely different. But yeah.
And it's like I always remember this in all the interviews leading up to the game's release. They specifically said that they would explain why Chief's armor changes. And I was like, oh, it might be okay.
Did
They did, but it was a really half-assed explanation. They quite literally, I'm not fibbing about this. They said in game, Cortana changed him while he was in stasis.
I had a hunch it was gonna be something like that, and I'm sorry, but that makes like no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, he is stuck in there in stasis. He's literally in a bed fridge thing. How the hell did she
how like Chief was
remove
in
the armor?
Chief was in stasis, and Cortana is a hologram in a ruined ship. How in the hell can they explain Chief's armor change? And what's weird is that
Also,
in the actual story, they actually had a perfect opportunity to explain the change later on. They could have easily had Chief starting off. They could have had Chief starting off in the Halo 3 armor, then getting it heavily ruined while he during the first level.
Makes it to infinity.
Yeah. So it's heavily damaged when he lands on the ship, or when he lands on the planet, and then by the time he reaches all the other Spartans, they are the ones who give him the new armor.
Upgrade. That make narrative sense instead of just the 4 years in stasis just yeah. Also, I doubt, especially because of how costly making a Spartan and Spartan armor is, I doubt there was just leftover armor in half a ruined ship.
Yeah.
For her to swap out. I call massive bull.
Yeah, especially when you consider that how is Chief's new armor in Halo 4 looking very similar to the newest Spartans, so also introduced, if Chief's been floating around in space for several years?
Yeah. How did he get all these upgrades when he's been gone for like 4 or 5 years, and then it's like, oh yeah, no, his stuff is up to par with the newly invented thing post-Covenant War.
But the first part of getting a fan base to accept a big change is to do a proper send-off to the old style. Exactly.
Here's the thing. I don't care what anybody says. I still think it's dumb, especially because like I know they were working towards it for 5/Guardians. I hate that they retroactively mention Locke in Halo 2 Anniversary.
Oh god, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, like, and it doesn't help that trailers are like, hyping him up.
Yeah, why?
Like this
why in the
Chief,
fuck
this
for Halo 2 Anniversary did they?
Nobody.
Yeah, for Halo 2 Anniversary, why the hell did they create a new prologue tying it into the events of Halo 5? Nobody asked for that.
The literally, oh goodness. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was good because, like, hey, graphical update.
Yeah, that's literally all it was. It was just a graphical update.
Not only that, they brought over the designs for a bunch of shit from Reach. Because literally, literally Arbiter's troops that were partially responsible for the shit that happened on Reach followed the forward onto Dawn. Hence why designs are so similar. Or basically the same. I did like that in Anniversary they made the different colored elites. Like the gold ones with the sword actually wore a different set of elite armor to make them stand out not only in color but in design.
It's kind of funny how they
attention to detail.
Funny how they did it correctly for Halo Anniversary, but then they completely butchered it in Halo 4.
That's something else I don't like is how some of the things look so much more different from 3 and 4.
Hmm.
The elites look different. The jackals look different. They went from these skinny birdmen to these raptor-looking motherfuckers. Brutes. I mean, I'll say this: I do like the Halo Wars design of the brutes more than the 3, but first, that's just my personal opinion.
Hmm.
Grunts are the grunts that never really changed
Yeah.
all that much, from what I understand. But you know how it is. I don't know. Some design, I'll just constantly argue some designs were too different, but that's just me.
I mean, what always gets me is that, even kind of from, I know it's not entirely their fault, but the fact that they didn't catch these little bits of lore will always make me laugh, because when Halo Legends was released, that's the anime, Halo anime, for those who don't know where.
Yes, yeah, I know the series of like OVAs
yeah.
and
343 were in charge of that. And
Were they?
yeah. I always remember this, in that one of the first bits of the story is that they kind of recap the events leading up to Halo 1. Like, they try to explain the back lore of the franchise. And one of the things they do in those episodes, they fuck up the lore of the Flood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In every game, they specifically mention how the Halos don't kill the Flood, they kill their food.
People.
Yeah.
Biomass.
Yeah. As they say straight up in the game.
Flesh.
Yeah, as they straight up say in the game, the only way to kill the Flood is to starve them to death. So
yes.
Then, in Halo Legends, they show them firing the Halo rings and killing the Flood.
Somebody doesn't do their fucking homework or research. Yeah, but I was gonna say, I did from Halo Legends. I do still really like the prototype Mjolnir. You know, the one that basically the normal soldier gets in to buy time for everybody else and then just self-destructs with the nuclear core in him on the armor, save everyone and whatnot. It's the beefy black armor with the Gatling gun on the shoulder. I think it's a Gatling gun on the shoulder.
I might remember that. It's been a while since I've seen most of the shots.
Yeah, I can, if it's alright with you, I could probably DM you a picture of it, just so we're on the same page, if it's alright with you.
Yeah. Like, the only like, I can remember some of the shots in Halo Legends. Like, I think a lot of us would agree that the comedy one was probably the best one, because it literally was just taking the piss with the franchise.
Oh, the one with the guy that got left behind, and he comes across.
Yeah, the one in the Dragon Ball art style.
Yeah.
Like, that was like easily the best one, but I got so pissed off at one of them though. It's the one about a girl who gets who is turned into a Spartan and then goes back to her home to find out that a clone of her has been living with her parents.
Well, that was the whole thing with the not Spartan 2, Spartan. It was either 3 or 4s, where it's like everybody's believed to be. By the way, I sent you the picture of the prototype.
Yeah.
Halo armor. Yeah, I remember because there was a whole thing with the Spartan Force, I believe. Where it's like, oh yeah, they're all kidnapped, left with a generical, with a clone that'll die in a few years.
This, I mean,
So everybody, so
and
technically,
right,
everybody's registered.
and everything about that
Good.
is stupid. I'm sorry, it just is completely stupid. Why kidnap someone? So this is a government operation to kidnap people who have parents, not orphans. People who already have families.
Here, okay.
Wait.
Here's the cool thing. Sorry, go ahead.
So there's that. Then there's the fact that they are actually making clones. They are successfully making clones of people, which are already going to die eventually. So why not just send the clones in? Send the clones to battle if they're going to die anyway.
Well, here's the thing. If they did that, they'd be risking a lawsuit with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. I'm sorry. I saw an opportunity and I took it.
Now I just imagine. Now I just imagine them doing like this Simpsons quote, just going, "Shh, quiet boy. Do you want to get sued?"
But no, from what I understand, the whole thing really is that one of the oh goodness, it's a whole thing of, hey, Dr. Halsey's a bitch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and from what I understand from her researchers or whatever, the highest success rate for the surgery, even then, some of the kids that kidnapped died from procedures. Because it was like, oh, hey, a bunch of bone strengthening surgeries and all this other stuff, so they become super soldiers. Which also led to several of them being mentally unstable, among other things.
Gee, can't imagine why.
Yeah.
Speaking of, wasn't most of the cast of Netflix action non-Halo fans? Wouldn't be surprised.
Don't even. No. it's not also not non-Halo fans. People that apparently hated Halo too.
Yeah, that's
Exclusively,
the same.
but yeah,
that's the same with 343. Like, Microsoft straight up said that they went after people when they were creating the studio who didn't play Halo.
That's like, to me, such shit like that will always be like, that makes no sense. Like, there's nothing logical behind that decision. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's because they were chasing the Call of Duty crowd. They wanted a game that would appeal to Call of Duty players, not Halo players.
For the here's the reason why Call of Duty and Halo stood shoulder to shoulder is that they were both military shooters, but one was modern day, the other was sci-fi. Each of those scratch different niches, whatever you want to call it. And that's why people like, because there's similarities. Yes, they play pretty differently, but it's still like, okay, you have your realistic World War shooter, and then this space StarCraft kind of fucking thing.
Yep.
They're both shooters, but one's like okay, more modern, traditional, whatever, and then you have the sci-fi cool thing with the basically mech suits and aliens and
this
guns.
is what we see in the games industry all the time. It's like something is successful, everybody's got to copy it.
Hence why the basically X-killer word gets thrown around. Like,
yep.
Destiny killer, Dark Souls killer, Halo killer.
VRChat
Call of Duty
killer.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah. See, it even transitions to other things that don't even have anything to do with the original thing. It's effectively a term that gets thrown around like Dark Souls like, where it just means you're it's gonna be a pain in the balls as you play this, but at the end it just basically means that hey, the game's hard, the game's designed to be hard and challenging, but you get a sense of great fulfillment after you finally beat the thing you've been headbutting for 4 hours. That's the point of Dark Souls. Calling it Dark Souls-like does not really do that. Although I understand what's the one that got compared to it, Cuphead, the Dark Souls of platformers and shit.
Yeah.
That one did kind of live up to the title. That one lived up to it. You don't know why? Rage compilations.
What makes me laugh is that you could just tell that it was like nobody could find anything else to compare it to, so they just said Dark Souls, even though Ghosts and Goblins exists.
Yeah, but I feel here's the thing. Okay, the thing is that also is like that be something that's whatchamacallit. Not to sound mean to anybody, but too old for the time. Because here's the thing, I've never heard of goblins. That thing.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Isn't that where Arthur from Marvel vs. Capcom is from, or is that something else? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it's from that. Yeah, I never knew about that.
It's like the original hard game.
Really? Huh. Yeah, but I'm guessing it's because like, oh hey, Dark Souls was the name that was like at the top, like top 5, top 10.
Essentially,
pain in the balls game.
Essentially, Dark Souls is just a modern version of Ghosts and Goblins. I'm not even kidding.
Okay. I mean, it's both are fantasy settings, even though like I know that doesn't narrow it much, and it's kind of oversimplifying it, but still.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, from my POV, it looks like your cam is a cyborg guy for the neck orc. It's funny. But yeah. But and then it's funny how even now, after years, it's like everybody always expects a Dark Souls like from FromSoft, even though it's like, yeah, they've been doing it for all these years. Even that, like, Armor Core, the new Armor Cores are around the corner. It's like you're gonna get your ass whooped if you're
Level up!
tackling that thing, assuming it's gonna play like any Dark Souls game. You are gonna get cooked like never before.
Saturday, back into
If
the
you
ball.
if you tackle that thinking it's gonna play like Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3 or any other game before, get ready to get your ass whooped.
Yep.
And folded so fast.
There's going to be all these FromSoft players just buying it because they're going to be thinking it's going to be like a Souls-like. And it's like, no,
Mech Souls
no.
or some shit. No. Get ready to get folded and cold like a bitch. Just because it's a different control scheme from the kind of standardized Souls game. Because, understand, you know, oh hey, bumper, trigger, D-pad, buttons, and whatever. Like, okay, these kind of do the similar thing, but the game handles differently. Like, like just looking at it, like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring look incredibly similar, especially with how they move. But it's like, no, I literally had like Proto show me. It's like it handles. It looks like the game, but it handles very differently.
The Sonic 8. Yes, I do like Sonic. I I like it so much, I'm in one of the games.
Are you?
Yeah, I love always being able to brag that. One of my questions. I mean, starting Generations.
That ass?
I'm part of the crowd at the end of the credits.
Ah, okay. That's okay. Not gonna lie, that's actually a pretty cool flex. Yeah. Where are we on about Richard? Oh yeah, Halo. uh, we went from we jumped from so many topics. Holy shit.
Yeah, I
We
still
went
haven't even tried Halo Infinite.
Uh, from what I've seen, don't really bother.
I mean, it's a lot better than Halo 5.
Although,
I'll at least know that, but still.
wait.
That's not saying much.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there's Halo 4, Halo 5/Guardians, and then Halo 6/Infinite. I completely forget. I'm used to the numbers. But yeah, from what I understand, it's definitely better than what
Level
5
up!
was. Although that's not really saying much, sadly.
Piero, thank you for the
I
follow.
personally call me. I don't know. We wouldn't call this old-fashioned or old school, but I'll stick to Reach. Thank you very much. When I get the chance to,
I'll stick to
anyways.
Halo 3. That's always gonna be my favorite.
That's good too. I don't like. I'm used to the armor abilities. I'm used to be. Although I do like that sprint is a passive thing from 4 forward.
I know it's
Wait,
I know it's kind of sacrilege to say, but out of all the Bungie Halo games, I think Halo 2 is the weakest. It's still a fun game, but I still think it's the weakest.
You don't know what I hate about Halo 2 Legendary? You have one of the dumb skulls always enabled.
Oh.
So, okay, so you know how literally just Legendary is like the hardest difficulty, which is hard enough on its own. Then there's these skulls that are enabled, which are like challenges, modifiers, and whatever. Some are silly, some are really detrimental. Even in Halo Anniversaries, it still carried over the same issue, where there's this skull where it's basically a perfectionist. If you're in solo play, it'll send you back to the beginning screen if you die. But if you're in co-op and one of you dies, you'll be sent back to your last checkpoint. Which just made Halo Legendary not worth the trouble. At all.
I believe
an anniversary.
When it comes to Halo campaigns and stuff like that, I only ever play them on easy because I'm not really a first person shooter player. So I do like Halo, but I just kind of play them casually. Like I don't take the game seriously.
I understand that. Honestly, the most I really did, like I only did the legendary runs with a friend because we wanted to do the challenge together. But really, the most I do is normal or heroic, just by myself. Just for the, I guess, the challenge and the hell of it. Although I really only replayed, the most I replayed really was, again, Reach. Because it's kind of like my favorite. I do miss the armor customization in Reach, though. How you could like change, besides the main pieces, you were always able to change like the helmet, the shoulders, and the chest.
Yeah.
You also had like these other accessories, like the knee pads, the wrist, like the gauntlet accessories and shit. You could give yourself like a mini computer on your left or a brace on your right, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the public avatar. I'm just It's kind of relaxing in it. So
Ye-
yeah, I do wish they would bring back sort of.
that level customization
Yeah,
back.
I think it would be kind of. I mean, because they kind of messed things up essentially for themselves, because it was like, they had the perfect opportunity with Halo 4 to just bring in at least one new Spartan and just say, okay, this person is going to act as like the co-op character.
Basically, Halo 3's Arbiter.
Yeah. And it's like, this other Spartan could be customized. So whenever you're playing with someone in co-op, the armor is what that person plays.
That reminds me of the Halo 4. That reminds me of the Halo 4 side thing. I forgot what it was called.
You're talking about Spartan Ops?
Spartan Ops.
Yeah.
Spartan Ops. Yeah, where you could just run in with with like, it would actually be your customized Spartan. It'll be in the cutscenes and shit, I think.
Yeah, I never really, I
that.
didn't play much of Spartan Ops, mainly because it required
but I always
required
remember
online.
that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just sort of feel like, yeah, Halo franchise right now is in complete shambles. It really needs a good sorting out. Grabbing a drink. Oops. Hi, Swap.
But something else I miss, even though I know it was very broken. Dual wielding. Boy, did I miss dual wielding.
Yeah.
Although I understand, was it like something like the needler was broken?
Oh yeah, dual wielding
If you dual wielded it,
was ridiculous.
like, here's an easy fix to that. Just change the design of it to make it, I don't know, maybe make it a little heavier looking or whatever. So it's like, yeah, even though you're in a power armor, the design of it is too awkward to be held in one hand, so make do.
See, I mean,
If that makes any sense.
yeah, I think, because didn't they try to? I know it was like, obviously in Halo 2 you could dual wield it, in Halo 3 you couldn't, because obviously they caught on.
No, I think you were able. No, I remember being able. I think you were able to dual wield it in 3.
I'm pretty certain you couldn't. Either that or they really weakened it.
I mean, I think they weakened it because, well, I mean, yeah, you know how busted it was. But I remember being able to.
I'm certain.
Maybe misremembering is being able to dual wield a needler and another gun, but I'm not too sure about 2 needlers. That I cannot remember.
I just sort of remember that. I'm almost certain that it was impossible to dual wield needlers in Halo 3. Maybe I misremember. I can't fully remember. I just remember that in Halo 2 it was overpowered, but in Halo 3 the needler was just essentially pointless.
I'm seeing all these things for like, oh hey, dual wield mod bugs. Yeah, you just couldn't dual wield needlers in 3.
But yeah, I think it was
Okay,
in.
so yeah.
I think it was in. I want to say it was in Reach, but I can't remember. There might have been like an alternative to the needler.
I know the needler rifle.
Yeah.
The needle rifle.
Hmm.
Yeah. That basically the sniper. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That one makes sense. The issue is there was you know how basically the needler fires like an SMG. The other one was literally like a sniper rifle, or a single fire rifle, which it works, but it's not what exactly that everybody knows him for.
Yeah.
There was something similar was the plasma repeater that I really liked, because it's like, okay, the plasma rifle the rifle is an SMG.
Oh yeah, that one.
It was a plasma repeater. It's an assault rifle, and I really like the design of that. And I really wish they brought it back, but I mean, I really don't. I play Destiny, not really Halo, so yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really play other first-person games in general. Like I see obviously all these people playing like Overwatch and all that, and I just cannot get into those games. I don't know what it is. I really cannot explain what it is about first-person games that just turn me off, but I'm okay with it with Halo.
I mean, that's fine. I feel like everybody has an exception to certain things. For example, like for me, like I don't like slow-paced stuff, but I have no problem with World of Final Fantasy, which is a turn-based thing. I don't know. Like for me, like I don't like I don't know. Slow games aren't at least what I would call slow, aren't something that can really keep my attention for a while.
Yes.
But World of Final Fantasy was for me the exception.
That's fair enough.
I mean, even if we don't like certain game genres, we can all have our exceptions to shit. Like, let me think. What's another one? I'm not the biggest fan of stealth games, but I did like Dishonored, even though you could really just say screw stealth and do whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
By the way, have you heard of the newest I'm hearing a lot of stuff from it, but the new Square Enix game Forspoken.
I've heard of it and I've seen clips of it, but it's never caught my attention.
Yeah, I saw it, didn't, and from all I see from it is like, I don't like it just because the protagonist seems like a bitch.
Yeah, like, honestly, that was one of those games which to me just looked so generic.
Here's the thing that I heard someone say when I was going back in a VOD out of curiosity because of how little I actually gave a shit about the game. The game feels like a mix of Elden Ring and Infamous, but those individual games did better what this one tries to do. That reminds me, I should probably try and get my hands on Infamous, since it's a PlayStation. It's like a PlayStation only thing. I was a big fan. I was back in the day before I had my own thing. I really loved watching Infamous on YouTube.
Yeah, because I mean that when Infamous came out, it kind of went up against Prototype. Because like both those games were very similar, like an open world sandbox type experience.
Superpower motherfucker protagonist, yeah. Although you could tell like one was, even though there was both kind of Infamous had the whole morality system that your abilities and appearance would change.
Yeah.
Depending on your decisions, kind of like Mass Effect. Meanwhile, I know Prototype is like, yeah, you only have the one story, but you can do all this other shit, and none of this really comes back to bite you in the ass since you're already a walking biological menace and whatever. But you can actually choose to be good or bad in Infamous, and that would affect your gameplay. And also there's like New Game Plus, where it's like you can do a good run and a bad run, and then you have, especially in 2, because basically in 2 you would have ice, fire, and lightning in your corner. Which, you know, I do like that they brought back Infamous for a little while with Second Son.
Oh yeah.
Although the franchise just disappeared after that. I mean, it had a DLC, and then gone. Haven't heard shit from it in years. Which is a shame, which I feel like it was like one of the better
I mean, maybe
PlayStation exclusive franchises.
Maybe it was just that they were kind of struggling to find new things to do with it. Like sometimes some IPs just do that. Like they just kind of struggle to find something that works as like an next entry without taking things too far.
Yeah, I mean, at least in what was it? Let me think. So it didn't, from the original one, it didn't matter what ending you got, since it both basically led to Infamous 2, from what I understand. You still like Cole made up with Zeke and whatever, and then they both went off to New Moray, and then but then the canon ending for Infamous 2 is a good ending. Because the bad one, he basically the Magneto route from X-Men. And then the ending for Second Son, I forgot the name of the protagonist, funny enough. But either he goes back and heals his tribe from all the concrete bullshit the jerk lady did.
Yeah.
Basically, the main bad guy, or really the main bad guy of the game, did to his people. Or after hearing all what a monster he's become, to try and heal them, he just massacres his own people and then becomes power hungry for more and more metahuman abilities. Because you know how his thing works. He just copied stuff from others he got his hands on. Kind of like Rogue, but instead of going away after a few minutes, it actually stuck with him.
Yeah. So it's sort of thinking, like, are there any real... I know there's, like, we can easily just say Legend of Zelda here, but are there any other games which have sequels or continuations in some way which are based off the bad ending of the previous games?
Legacy of Kain. Have ever heard of the franchise?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, the original one, you had basically the protagonist becomes this vampire guy, and he either has two choices at the end of the first game: sacrifice himself so the world gets purified and everything goes back to normal, at the cost of the vampire race going extinct, or survive and basically become the dark god king of the world. And the bad ending is actually the canon ending, because it follows through to the rest of the franchise, which literally the last was it the last game the finance was literally open and left. Basically, the whole story of the franchise is kind of not done. Just because the series right now is just in a limbo. Which is unfortunate. But there was I think it was mentioned in the CERN server a long time ago, because it fell under the rights for it fell under Square Enix.
Well, it's like
Or like
it's
Western
because
IPs.
no, it's because Eidos were the ones who owned it, and then obviously Square Enix bought Eidos, so all their IPs went to Square Enix. Then obviously Square Enix has sold all their Western IPs.
I'm sorry, Crystal Dynamics. Crystal Dynamics. That's the
Yeah,
ones behind that. Yeah, and now technically they got the ones that own that. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's sad because like there's a good bit of people that was behind the original story thing that probably like passed away or moved on to other things.
It's one of those.
Look,
I
understand.
think given how long it's been since the last real game, if they wanted to revive the IP, they would have to start doing remakes. They wouldn't be able. They wouldn't be able
Remakes
to.
or remasters.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to just start like continuing the story. They would have to reintroduce everything.
Here's the long-awaited final title of this fucking franchise that kind of just got a cult following for not being finished yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a few franchises which I think if they were to be like continued, they would have to like first go back
would have to start.
Yeah, they would have to start fresh.
Like that space. Remember the remake to the first one literally came out the other day, and I've heard it's been getting good reviews, which I'm happy for.
I didn't even realize it would come out.
I
thought it was still coming soon.
We don't talk about. No, actually, wait. I may be thinking because I've been watching videos on YouTube. I think they got an early copy because of content creator, YouTuber people. But I've been hearing good things from them. And I know, and I trust their word because they're share like a similar opinion. 1 and 2 were good. We don't talk about that Space 3
no,
for good reason.
Nobody,
Thank you.
none of us talk
Thank
about
you,
that.
EA.
Like I've never
thing?
even played the games, and I know don't play Dead Space 3 because of what EA did to it.
It's an alright experience if you go in with a friend or whatever. Like the game by itself is fine, but it's what it did to the narrative and other shit. It's like fuck you. You know the hilarious thing. EA kind of ruined the franchise with 3, but the original creators of Dead Space went on to make Project Callisto. And if you heard about it, you know how you've heard a lot of people being harsh on it and saying it's shit, etc. And then here comes it's still under EA, the Dead Space remake. And it's fucking good. And it's still under EA, the same people that fucked it. Boy, does certain things work in interesting ways, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean that's kind of the double-edged sword of everything, because it's like, yes, we hate how these big publishers can very easily ruin these franchises that we love. But but at the same time, they can also help focus projects and make them even better. Because it's like when a lot of these original creators decide to do like spiritual successors because the companies don't want to do them themselves, these spiritual successes never really end up being as good as what we want them to be.
Level up!
It just
You can't
reminded me of two. That reminds me of two cases. What was the name of it?
Yes, we will both do this
It was
together.
the one that had
Benny.
even really it was
That's
just two
bad.
devs, and well, not even devs, but two people that made that worked on Left 4 Dead are part of the crew. So let's add that to the adverts, even though they really do. I forgot the name of the game, but yeah,
Was it Evolve?
not Evolve. It's just still zombies.
Back for Blood?
That's it. And you see how often anybody talks about that game now. It's not a lot. And then the other one, it was the people that made the original Fallouts. I don't remember. Outer Rims? No.
Oh, Outer Realms?
No. Outer World, something like
Outer
that.
World, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And from the set, it was alright. But no, it didn't get a lot of attention. It didn't do as well as some people would have hoped, or yeah.
And all of these, without even bringing up the fiasco that was Mighty Number 9.
Okay, I know. Isn't Mighty Number 9 the one from Platinum Games?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else. I was gonna say, just because of
Mighty
the whole fiasco that happened...
Mighty Number 9 is the Mega Man wannabe.
Oh, I know nothing about that. But I was gonna say, the whole nonsense that happened before the release of Bayonetta 3, I don't want to talk about a certain developer. Because of what an ass he made out of himself during the whole shebang.
Oh.
Yeah, now you remember. He made himself the laughingstock of Twitter for 2-3 days.
To be fair, he's always acted like that.
Oh no, yeah, I know he's been an asshole since forever. But it's just funny that his own attitude made him the laughingstock of the internet for 3 days. Almost a week, I want to say, too, but eh.
Though, to be fair, I get the feeling he kind of ended up having the last laugh, considering how that story ended.
Yes. However, doesn't his own attitude didn't help him.
Oh no.
The way I see it, two people made an ass out of themselves in that thing. Did he win technically? Yes, but he also publicly how we should it? Publicly shamed himself for being a man-child or whatever.
Yep.
However you want to phrase it. Did he get the last laugh? Yes, but boy did he got the last. He got the last laugh, but he didn't get the hardest laugh or the best laugh. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And for the record, I'm a sucker for Devil May Cry. But I'll say this: I'm happy that after 2, it's in the hands of someone else.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I know there's the whole things of Bayonetta 3 also got like mixed reviews. It's all right. I saw Pro play it all the way through and stuff, but it didn't get the best reviews for as long waited as it was. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, what?
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, to be perfectly honest, that's why I I'm quite worried about Metroid Prime 4, considering how long that game has been stuck in development hell. There
In
is,
development
yeah,
hell.
there is no
Yeah.
way people's expectations are going to be met.
Oh no. The more it's in expectations brew, the longer something is in development hell. Prime example, Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh.
And the thing is, I actually kind of like 15.
I do as
But
well.
I can feel... and I, like, okay, everybody has their opinion, but I feel like some people are shit too harshly on it. And it's like, it's not a perfect game. Far from it. Some parts drag on.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
after
I
a certain
can.
point in the story,
It's one of
you
those. It's one of those
rush the
games.
end.
It's one of those games where you can understand the criticism, but people are making mountains out of molehills.
Yes. Although I will always have to describe that some of the DLC things should have been part of the main story. Prompto's backstory, Gladio's personal side
Yeah,
story.
that was
shit that happened
something
with
that always
Ignis.
that was always something that made me laugh. Is that you could very clearly tell when you're playing the main story. Okay, this is where the DLC is going to happen. Because one of the characters would just leave for a little bit. I think you'd be like,
Where's
okay.
Prompto? Oh, he had this Winter Wonderland adventure, discovering he himself is a clone demon guy. What's the Ignis DLC? Basically, the few hours you were out cold and how he wandered up blind to save your ass. And how did Gladio get these scars? Oh, he got this. And also, how did he get this sword you don't get your hands on or get to see unless you do the fucking DLC?
Yeah, like they really
And
mishandled it.
yeah. Also, let's not forget the fact that you actually get Arden's full backstory in the final DLC episode.
And then there was all that
The
DLC
whole
that
backstory.
they had to cancel because they were just kind of like Square Enix were basically saying no more. We're done with this shit.
Yeah. It's sad because 15 had a good bit of stuff going for it, but it just got shafted by circumstance and poor decisions.
I mean, look,
But
it's
still,
like
15,
because
it's not perfect.
yeah,
But
I mean, remember Kingdom Hearts 3 was originally going to use the same game engine as 15.
Oh.
That's why, like, because they announced Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15 at the same event. And yeah, they were going to use the exact same game engine, but because of how bad 15's development went after they already obviously announced it was coming to as 15,
Mm-hmm.
the development went so badly.
Was it revealed? Was it revealed as Final Fantasy 15 or 13 versus? Or versus 13, I mean.
It was, well, back in the day, at the same event Final Fantasy 13 was revealed at, they also revealed 2 more games. Final Fantasy Agito 13 and Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Wait, what was the other one?
Agito 13.
Agito 13.
Yeah.
That does not ring a bell.
It will in a bit, probably. But yeah, but those 3 games were meant to be the Fabula Nova Crystallis trilogy. And the only thing that would be connecting them would be a mythology. Everything else would be entirely original between all 3 games. Then...
So it'd be these 3 stories that would be taking place in the same world, but don't
No, not even in the same.
each
Not
other.
even in the same world. It would literally just be a mythology, like they're gods and rulers, that sort of stuff. That would be the only thing connecting all 3.
Okay. The pantheon.
Yeah.
That gets referenced or interacted with,
Yeah.
etc. Okay.
That's why Versus 13 was meant to be like taking place in a modern day setting, whereas 13 was definitely more sci-fi.
So like in a way, different timestamps or different eras in time. Blah.
Yeah, it was just literally, essentially, it was very loose connections. But anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Loosely connected. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because the entire idea fell apart very quickly. Because Versus 13 kept getting delayed. And when the original 13 came out, most people went, eh. So they kind of abandoned the Nova Crystallis collection and separated all the projects into their own thing.
Individual. Yeah.
Agito 13 was reimagined, well, not reimagined, just renamed Final Fantasy Type 0.
Oh! Really?
Yep.
Actually, wait, no. That explains why some of the summons are so mechanical. That actually in design and makes fuck.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Type
Okay,
0
that
was
makes sense.
originally part of the Nova Crystallis collection.
Huh.
But yeah, like they just tried to separate it into its own thing, and and like I said,
That fell apart.
yeah, and like I said, and for the longest time, Versus 13 was kind of buried. Like Square didn't really want to talk about it, but they never outright said it was cancelled.
Developer limbo.
Yeah, and eventually the that's then all of a sudden it's certainly I can't remember which one it was. I want to say 2006.
I think it might have. I think it was Sydney, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, that one E3 they re-revealed Final Fantasy Versus 13, but renamed it
15.
as 15. And at the same event,
You know what I miss?
At the same event, they announced Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was going to be being done at the on the same game engine as 15. This then kind of backfired because 15 kept going through development hell, so much so that Tetsuya Nomura, who was originally going to be Nomura was meant to be responsible for both games, but he got taken off 15 to focus on Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Funny. Okay, here's the funny thing. There's even a whole thing with the naming of both protagonists of respective franchises. Because Noctis, if I understand, like basically Noctis means sundown and Sora means sunrise, some shit like that. There's like a play between their names.
Well, why do you think what happened in the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC happened the way it did?
True.
But
one thing
the straight up ending of the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC against the secret boss is literally a shot for shot.
Noctis.
Yeah, it's a shot for shot remake of the Versus 13 trailer.
Yeah, that's the one thing I always have. So you know Dissidia, right? The basically fighting games, quote fighting game spin-off of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I liked the Versus 13 design of Noctis, the outfit.
Oh yeah.
But that prototype design never became available in the actual game. However, you are able to use that outfit in Dissidia and T. The shittiest one yet. Which I feel bad because, there's Opera Omnia that's giving it a good name, but
I get so annoyed that Square just hasn't re-released the PSP Dissidia games.
Oh no, I believe they could reinvigorate the franchise. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, the name, the brand, whatever, if they remastered or basically re-released in other platforms, the older Dissidia games. Maybe update them a little, remaster them, make maybe a few difficulty tweaks, because from what I understand, some things were a bitch.
I don't think it's actually outside the possibility that they'll still do it, considering Square are surprisingly one of the few companies that are really trying to get all of their back history available to modern players. They might not be doing it the best, but they're at least trying.
Oh no, yeah. And like all the ones that just leave things to rot and die, they actually are bringing back some older stuff. I do not look forward to all the fuck shit that might happen when Final Fantasy 16 finally releases.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be fully honest. I'm not really interested in 16.
I am, just because like it's basically, oh hey, Devil May Cry like gameplay in a Final Fantasy setting.
Yeah. Like,
hell yes.
I'm
a sucker for both.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really saying anything against the game, but it's not doing anything that's grabbing my attention.
Doesn't get your interest. Yeah. No, the issue I have behind this, what somebody said, I'm not really sure if I want to mention this, even though we've talked a lot of shit. I don't think this may be safe for Twitch, because it's very dumb, but also it's very dumb, but also really shitty. I don't know if you want to hard mute the thing to just get it over with, or I'll just skip it for later.
We'll
kind of fucked.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Radio. Wow, this stream has really become just a podcast, huh?
Yeah, I don't mind. I like doing like random chats like this.
They're nice.
This is
again, it's like that often, so it's also rare.
Yeah, just saying, like this is what I want to do with my streams. I want to have people to just talk to, but most of the time I can't because nobody ever comes to see me.
I mean, because I had the site open just because sometimes like, oh hey, people are here. This world looks interesting. Opens tab of the world on a separate tab to keep it at hand whenever I hop back on VRChat. And then I saw you were on before you even got the stream notification. It was like, I'll be a little shit to keep her company. I completely guessed which face this was, and I guessed right.
Another cold drink. Oh, I actually forgot to mention, I got a bit of good news the other day.
Oh?
It's like it's nothing really too amazing, but it was like just nice to hear. Because for the longest time, there has been an outfit for Kikyo that I was really after. So I was just going, oh, that is perfect for what I'm wanting to do. And then it's like I followed the person on Twitter, and they were just saying like, oh yeah, it'll be released in just like 1 or 2 days. Just gotta touch things up. They then went silent.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back in September.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There's just radio silence.
something funny? It's something similar that happened. So you know how, well, and I think it was mentioned a long time ago when you talked to Waro, how we hang out in his VC and we watch Kamen Rider because of a friend of mine. The usual guys, because, I mean, that's a whole other thing. The guys that usually sub the stuff so we can watch it, they went with complete radio silence for like 2 weeks. And you don't know why? Someone in the team fucked up and accidentally upgraded their shit to Windows 11.
Ooh.
For 2 weeks, radio silence from them, completely and utterly, because of Windows fucking 11. And this is a whole, this is a team of people that sub and translate stuff for people to watch the latest episode of Kamen Rider Geats, which I have been liking a lot. Looking forward to the new. Actually, ask him if the new stuff is subbed yet in the site we watch it in. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I just got. Just the other day, all of a sudden, they reappeared. So. Like, I was just like, oh my god, they're still alive.
Well, for one, yes, thank
Yeah.
God nothing bad happened to them.
Yeah, so they said that the outfit's going to be released over the next few days.
Nice. This is an outfit for like your main thing you run around in, right? Nice.
Yeah, it's a sort of sci-fi look.
Ooh, Tron, or more like Neptunia.
More Neptunia.
Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say, even though, like, it's like what's it? The Tron, I guess most people think of now is the more recent one instead of the retro one. The one with Daft Punk in the movie.
The legacy design.
The black suits with it. Yeah, the black. Yeah. The ones with basically black suits and the neon lights. It's funny how some people didn't capitalize on that design, because I don't know. It seems like, even though like at face value they look kind of plain, but you can have like some interesting design differences with stuff like that. I guess, I mean, look at the difference between like the protagonist, Tron, the guy, and then Clue. Set them all next to each other, very similar, but you can tell them apart not only by the lights but also the small design differences in them. Especially Clue's helmet being less round.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I kind of prefer about like more futuristic designs, like the more minimalist, but you can still, like, I think like very small details, but it just adds so much.
Minimalist but unique in a way. Yeah. I don't know why, but a part of me wanted to compare to like Power Rangers. Or certain Sentai suits, because like, okay, minimalistic, but you can tell them apart.
Yep, I can see it.
Kind of like, what would be a good one? A little old, but I feel like it would be a good one. Wild Force. Because like the red one only had one stripe, although it was still like a thick bronze stripe on the chest. But you could tell in which order they were going, because like, okay, red has one, blue has 2 stripes, even though it's just as thick. The other one has 3, 4, 5, and then, oh hey, the silver guy has 6 stripes, although it's just as thick as the one bronze stripe of the red guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something. Let me. Something similar would be SPD. How on top of the visor, you would also have like a small window on the forehead of the helmet that was divided into pieces. So it's like, oh, the red guy only has like one thing, which is supposed to be like the front of a, what do you call it? What do you call the thing on cars? Like the front
Bumper?
front. Not the bumper, the windshield. On the forehead of the thing, they would have something like a windshield, and depending which one it was divided to a certain number. So like you know, red only had like one had like something like a windshield on his forehead that was just one piece. Blue had two, green had two, green had three, yellow had four, pink had five. Also, yeah, the number of them were on the chest. But the windshield thing on the helmet was a nice subtlety.
Yeah. Little design quirks like that can be so interesting to... When you notice them, it's like, ooh. It doesn't actually...
It's little, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's like, it's not something that you actually are really looking for, but once you notice it, it's like, huh.
That's neat. Somebody thought it went under the radar, but people thought about this. You can tell.
Oh, that actually reminds me, before I forget to say. No stream this Thursday. It's going to be on Friday instead. Because I've got to work the next 2 days.
Fun.
Yeah.
Work.
Okay, it's like it's not like some previous weeks where it's literally taken up my entire week. It's just these 2 days. So it's like, yeah, I don't mind it. I just hate it because I just hate my job specifically because it's like I really get treated like the store bitch.
Retail. Yeah. Like I'm sorry. I know, like you're being genuine, but also you just hear that retail is just shit for whoever's in it.
Yep. It's literally one of those things where, well, just the other day actually, I was trying my absolute hardest to get my actual job in the store done. And it's almost every opportunity my bosses would come in and say, oh, can you come in and do this for us?
Can you come do this instead? I'll totally not yell at you later for not doing the thing you were already in the middle of before I called you.
Yeah, because it's like
my mom deals with this. She doesn't work in retail, but she deals with the same shit.
Yeah, like one example, one really annoying part that got to me was like, because it's like I work outside. I work on the outside of the store, so I'm trying to keep all that area tidy. And just as I was starting to like make good progress with it, one of my bosses says, "Oh, can you come inside and they need you on the tills?" Because it was getting pretty busy. So I annoyingly, I'm going, fine. So I come inside and go to like my supervisor at the tills. The tills aren't busy. there's hardly anybody. So I'm just like stood there like, what should I do? Should I go back outside or
Go back to what you were doing
Yeah.
or work the tills
but-
or yeah.
what happened was my supervisor saw me standing there, then went onto the radio, onto like the store radio, and just said like, "Oh, do we need them for anything?" And they said, "Oh, they need you to fill up the pop fridge for them." Like, so I get called in to go to the tills, but apparently you don't need me at the tills, so you send me to do another random job, which doesn't even really need doing.
Smells like some bullshit.
Yep. So I just said sod it and went for my break.
Fuck your shit. I'm taking my 5 minutes now.
Yep. It's like, thankfully, it's like, and then it's like, just as I was coming off my break, one of my bosses walked by and they just said, "Oh, are you starting your break? Are you finishing?" And I just went, I'm finishing." And he went onto the radio. It's like, "Oh, do we need them on the tills?" I was like, "Oh, please God, no, please God, no."
Crossing your fingers.
Yeah.
Please don't send me back. Please don't send me back. Please don't send me back.
Like, luckily they didn't, so he just went, "Okay, can you focus on things outside?" I was like, "That's what I was going to be doing if you hadn't come by anyway."
If you didn't get in my fucking way.
Yeah. It's like, gee, really? Working outside? That's almost like it's my job.
Ugh.
It's just one of those situations where they just constantly like they keep thinking that nothing outside really needs doing when it does.
Honestly, it's stuff like that that makes me think: how the hell do some places do not fall apart after that? Poor. I
Well-
don't want to say poor management, but shitty teamwork,
Well, I mean, for us, it's
or whatever you want to call it.
for our store, it's like it's really weird because our store is classified as a training store, so a lot of our management staff are like they come in for a couple months, they run things, and then they move on to like a different store. Like we are
Okay.
just training them for their actual placement.
So kind of like an in-between spot.
Yeah.
So basically, that your joint is your tutorial.
Yep. But it gets even more annoying because what was I gonna say?
Yes, we will both do this together.
Hello there.
Purple. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. It's like the store that I actually work at, the actual company, are very, very behind in the times.
Oh.
They,
Level up!
damn, thank you for the follow. Then what's like all the major supermarkets will do something before we do. Like we're always like the dead last ones. And this has kind of had a result. Like one of the main reasons I get so annoyed is because they're constantly trying to pull me in to work on the tills. And
When that's not your.
yeah, it's not.
When you're the.
Yeah, I have till training, but it's not really what I'm meant to be doing.
You're not part of that's what you were hired for or there for.
And it's like we have like nearly, I want to say like 20 regular tills. Usually, we only have like 5 of them active.
Okay, what? Okay, so you have usually 5 active, and how many you have?
About 20.
Huh. Okay.
And what's even... So, like I said, so we're very behind in the times. So it would make perfect sense, rather than pulling other people in off their sections when it does get busy, to take the weight off, why not just convert a lot of these tills that we barely use into more self-serve tills? So that the customers can do everything themselves.
Okay. Just to clarify, because I'm confused on one thing. Are tills like the checkout points?
Yes.
Okay, so tills and checkout are the same shit. Okay. Aha. Okay.
Like it's just so stupid, because it's like we have a couple, we have like a small self-serve area which is just like baskets, you know, like small quick shops. Then we have a couple actual like proper self-serve tills, and then the rest of them are just regular tills. Like say we only ever use like 4 or 5 of them. So why do we have the rest of these? Convert them into...
Why do we have so many tails that don't get fucking used?
Yeah, just convert them into like the self-serve ones. Then the rest of us can actually focus on the rest of our job.
Like, and also, okay, I'm guessing since usually only 5 is the most that gets occupied, your store doesn't get too much traffic.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
Like it's like around. Annoyingly, it's like our busiest day is usually on a Sunday.
Mm.
And it's like because like they're trying to save money, they don't bring in enough staff. So they try and make use of the ones who are already in. Like they're pulling the rest of us off our sections to run one of these extra tills just when things are busy.
Yeah. Basically, it's like drag them to do some other shit. That's okay. We're understaffed, so we're gonna tell you to do something we really didn't hire you to do.
Yep. Like I say, we're understaffed, but we need more people on the tills. We have self-serve tills. Just make more of them. All the other supermarkets have more or less fully converted to self-serve checkouts. But we're stuck in the Stone Age, so... Ugh. Like, I can really... Like, sadly, I can't really obviously say too much about my job and everything, but it's like, oh...
Without doxing yourself
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
It just annoys the hell out of me how badly they just... The answers are right there to make things run smoother, but they're refusing to do it. Because like I said, they're stuck in the Stone Age.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole issue with, I guess, having. This is gonna sound weird no matter which way I say it. That's the whole thing with like having older people in charge
Hmm.
in a way, or at least people that were raised in the old fashion, I guess.
Yep.
Ah, an alarm went. Oh wait, it's already 11. Okay. Okay. Hmm. For record, yes, this is the default animation for me crawling.
I don't know.
Hey, by the way, if I'm ever too close to the camera, let me know and I'll back up.
Yeah, just checking. Sonic boom, sonic boom.
Good song. The show in game or something else.
Hmm? What?
Sonic Boom. The song's good. The show and game are something else.
Yep.
I'll say this: I do like the redesigns of Sonic Boom. Because it felt like they went for the step of, hey, let's make them all a little older, but that didn't stick. Did it?
Nah, with the boom designs, it's like the I wasn't too fond of them.
At least I liked at least they try to make them seem older.
I don't think it was them trying to make them look older. It's just they looked more lanky.
Except for
Knuckles, yeah.
Knuckles. Man became a brick shithouse.
Yeah, it's like I do like
Also,
the boom. I do like the boom series. Like, it does get a good laugh out of me. But yeah, the
I like that.
design,
Who was it?
if the designs were just for the series, then I probably wouldn't have minded too much. But like since they were trying to make it into like its own part of the franchise as a whole, it was like, eh.
They were pushing it, and it backfired. I do find funny how in the show they made Knuckles such a meathead, but also he was so fucking based.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the show more, because they were actually able to do stuff with the characters. Whereas with the games, it just
Instead of the usual shit. Yeah. What was the thing? I did like that they had a bunch of. Well, They also had like some old faces come back. Like, what was the name? What was her name?
I give it
Sticks a
a
raccoon.
I give it a raid. I've got a wonderful stream. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Raya? I want to say. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Welcome everyone. Hope you had a wonderful stream.
Oh wow, that is an interesting name to pronounce.
Yeah, we've just been kind of chilling here, just having random chats. Yes. Well, we playing anything interesting? Eesh. But yeah, weird how sometimes raids can come out of nowhere like that.
Well, hey, sometimes that's just raids for you.
Ah, VRChat workout. So I'm betting you're probably exhausted. Oh, a gym teacher. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's the first I've heard something like that.
It is actually always.
Like, I mean,
it's definitely always like interesting seeing different parts of VRChat.
yeah, like I feel like when you do hear a lot is like, oh hey, yeah, everybody gets together and dances or private dancing or whatever. You hear that all the time, but actual workout and like stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because
Kind of reminds me how
I know that there's like an actual church here in VRChat. Like they actually operate like a proper church.
I know. Look, I don't. She just completely stopped after some nonsense. She just mostly stopped getting on VRChat. But I know she had this, like 2-3 hour like yoga sessions. That was like a group thing in the weekends. She used to go to.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember like the amount of like dances and such we used to have here in VRChat, and they've kind of all just vanished.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. Let me think, if you don't mind.
Level up!
I think.
Did you know?
What's her face?
I'm not saying your full name.
Still do some for. Toddler still does like some of her things, like the weekends or whatever. That's what's like her DMCA Fridays or whatever the shit. And then there's Fusty, that Fusty's Fusty.
Yeah, Fusty kind of pops in now and then.
Yeah, but I mean, after a whole bunch of nonsense that's happened, and on the platform. And some people went off to do other things, so people just completely stopped streaming and blah 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 blah. Same old story we've talked about or heard about more times than needed.
Yeah. Sucks, but hey. I mean, it's just always nice seeing like people still being creative with VR.
With the platform, yeah, definitely.
Because I never would have thought about doing like a gym. Like you have like, I know people do like workout streams, but the idea of being like a proper gym instructor, yeah, that's something I never would have thought of.
Yeah. feels like one of those things. Like it's not like the things like, oh yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, but it's like in itself is something interesting to hear.
Hmm. Every single day? Jesus.
Level up!
Omnica, back of the ball.
Damn, you must be fit.
Hmm. Four years?
4 year.
Christ. I'd never be able to manage that.
Like the funny thing that I've heard is that it. I'm basically quoting this from a show and other stuff. Is like it
Level
gets
up!
hard starting, but then you get used to it, and then from other like cases I've heard, like it sometimes working out becomes an addiction unto
Intimidated,
itself.
back of the ball.
But I also understand like scheduling that stuff can help with your data. Just scheduling
Yeah,
in
that's-
general, having something like that can help with your data
Yeah,
management,
that's
day-to-day stuff.
that's what would really be keeping it from me. Is like mentally, it's very hard for me to remain focused on stuff like that. It's like it's not that I wouldn't want to. It's just my mind would just keep pushing it to one side.
I don't know. Yeah, it's mostly like I myself I'm on the computer and playing stuff. It's like, oh, physical activity, what a drag, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, that'd be good for me, but since it's out of my hat, it's like not something I'd be used to. I'd procrastinate and forget about it and other usual shit like that.
Because it's like I don't really, especially when it comes to working out. It's like I am a stick, I am a twig, so working out and stuff like that, it's just gonna drain me more than you'd think.
Funny enough, with me, it's not that I'm underweight or overweight. I'm just out of shape. At least for a guy my height.
I don't think I'd be doing these workouts if I didn't have all these friends to do it. And funny VR avatars. Yeah, I mean that's a good way of looking at it. It's like if you have other people to keep you focused, then
It helps.
yeah.
I mean, like yesterday, how we were watching anime. It's like a good bit of us weren't gonna be watching that if we were by ourselves. Like literally, a good bit of us were just there watching. Because the club was
Level
on.
up!
Crub. Thank you for the bar. That's a fun word to say. Crub.
Crub.
Crub. Yeah,
That
Just-
sounds like a Pokemon.
it does actually, yeah. But it's funny enough, but just talking about yesterday, when I joined you guys, like I didn't really know what you were watching,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not even kidding. I thought it was the most generic, boring ass shit. I was literally
Really?
yeah, I was literally about to leave. And then you loaded up the next episode and I was like, I just gotta find out what is this? Then it turns out to be Overlord. I was like, what?
This is Overlord? Well, that's a funny thing. In the first season, it follows Ainz and him discovering the world and shit. And then that takes the back seat.
Kurobi.
And season 2 is more about other people in the world.
It's just the fact that when I joined, like there was nothing.
Level up!
at all, which would made me think that it was Overlord.
Well, when you think Overlord, I feel like a lot of people think of two things:
Perspective of
the
the fall.
skeleton lich guy or Albedo.
Well, not
I feel
not
like those are the two things people
not
remember
not
the
so much.
most.
Well, not just that. It was like there was nothing like demonic. Like I was expecting like all these demons to be roaming around. It's like no, it was just like these regular people talking.
Well, okay, funny you say that because literally, when you joined on us, basically started a separate arc or a new arc because literally the one before had the Cocytus, the bug general, warrior general, and then a bunch of battle and a tribe of lizard men and shit. So literally, you just joined after the good shit, or after the shit you would have expected from Overlord.
Yeah, like I say, 'cause I'd been wanting to watch Overlord. Like I'd watched the first episode, but then I'd never gone back to it. Not because I didn't want to. It's just because other stuff came up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so literally just coming in at just a random point where I'm not seeing any characters I recognize. Like honestly, for a second,
Well,
I thought
at this point,
at the point that I joined, I thought you were watching like some JoJo wannabe.
fair enough. But no, the arc we're in is more of a like we're watching like the fucked up underworld and the weird politics of one of the kingdoms in the world. So that's why it doesn't really deal so much with monsters until the Nesarek cast steps in.
Yeah, it's like once I as soon as I saw the intro, like the following episode, and just said Overlord, I was like, what?
Huh? Wait, for real? She's just Overlord?
Yeah.
Where's the skeleton guy?
Where's anything demonic?
Where's the devils? The skeletons? The weird yandere angel girl?
Yeah, it's like that was kind of throwing me off. I was literally just on the edge of just leaving and seeing what else, if there was anything else I could be doing in VR.
What else was up around? And then you just saw the title Overlord. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I have been trying to get back into anime recently. There's been so many shows that I've been wanting to watch, but yeah. Because for the longest time, like I just haven't been watching any anime apart from like the old favorite,
Yeah, I mean, with me, it's always just I've really just been watching. What is it? Catching up every with the new episodes of the Nier anime, and the Trigun on Friday, and then when the things get subbed, the newest episodes of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. That's literally my the weekly show catch up stuff.
Yeah, like I've been mainly focusing on games and such recently, so I haven't really had time for anime. I was watching Bleach.
Especially since it came back.
I think I talked about this a while ago. There was like I was when I found out that all of Bleach was on Disney Plus, I was like, right, I'm gonna get caught up on the original series before watching the new one.
To get ready for the new shit.
Oh, the new one was already there. It was just I needed to get caught up. So, so yeah, so I spent several days trying to chipping away at that while I could. But it's like I think because of watching Bleach, it really got me back into the mood to watching anime again. Because I'd also been watching the Black Rock Shooter anime on Disney Plus.
Black Rock Shooter.
That series
Sorry.
is such a mess.
I never really watched it, but I really like the opening theme.
I mean, that's the original Black Rock Shooter anime. There's a entirely different one on Disney Plus.
Oh, wait, are you shitting? I never knew that.
Yeah, BRS Dawnfall.
First I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's don't go in with like big
Goodness.
expectations for it. Did you ever are you familiar with the Black Rock Shooter game on PSP?
No. Okay, I'll be dead ass. The most I know of it is the theme song of I think it's the anime, like the opening theme, and it's showing up in several AMVs during a certain amount of time, during a certain time period in YouTube.
Yeah, well,
Never decided to dig in further
well,
to the franchise.
Yeah, this new anime is basically it's kind of like a readaptation of the events of the game because it has very similar ideas in that it's a post-apocalyptic setting where Black Rock Shooter is this ultimate soldier. But my god, Dawnfall is such a mess. I'm
Like, when I look at the old, because I did look up the trailer for the old thing, it just reminded me of God Eater in a way.
Well, let me just say this about the new anime. One of its major antagonists is a talking sex doll.
What?
I'm not even kidding. He is quite literally a talking sex doll.
What the fuck? That's weird as shit.
Yep. And his whole thing is that he is trying to he's actually trying to bang as many girls as possible to find the perfect one to produce a child for him.
And I thought JoJo was weird. Bizarre, if you may. But that's fucking weird.
Yeah. That makes it, I'd say just watching it was like, I can't say, it's not like it's the worst thing ever, but it's one of those, what the hell am I watching sort of things. It's like
It's just like, I'm watching it, I don't understand it, feels like an ass trip, but okay.
Yeah. And it's like they really try to, like, the ending is complete bullshit. I'll say that it's a complete and utter bullshit. But throughout the entire thing, they're really trying to make you feel for these characters, and you just don't. You just don't. The
I
only
understand with the other anime, I understand there was a whole thing of like, hey, they don't want to feel lonely or separated because like, oh,
well,
hey,
like
that's
in the
school life for you.
yeah, in the original OVA in the first anime, the whole idea is that it's like the Blackrock Shooter and Dead Master and Strength and all that. They are characters from another world. They are representations of these regular girls' stress and
Feelings and
anxiety.
issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in this new one, no, they're just like the super soldiers.
Hmm.
And the
It
like,
is. I do find that interesting. The dramatization of people's feelings in that way.
like
Because I
the
mean, struggling with certain things
I am-
are a battle.
I am not even kidding when I say the only character in Dawnfall that I actually cared about was this one little robot that only appears in a single episode.
Let me guess. Does it die really quick?
Well, it dies at the end of the episode.
I had a hunch.
Like, they like it's kind of like a pointless character to begin with, because it's like the characters need to go to a library to find out more about this location they're trying to get to, and there's just this little robot who runs the library, and to begin with he's really annoying. You actually want to kind of destroy it yourself, because it's like, shut up, you dumb. But
Your little pencil sharpener.
But then, strangely, throughout the entire episode, you start to actually like it. And then when you find out that it really wants to play...
Then he fucking dies.
Yeah, you find out that it really wants to play baseball. It's like, okay. Strange little quirk, but yeah, I can get behind it. And it's like, at the end of the episode, like, one of the characters just actually, in a very cute moment, I will admit, it actually throws a baseball at him, and the baseball just hits him it just hits him on the head, and it just gives a few seconds before actually then turning around and picking up the baseball. I was like, okay, that's such a simple little detail, but I found that cute.
Yeah. Like, oh, he got bunked. What's he gonna do? Turn around, calmly pick it up.
Yeah. So then all the cast leaves, and then we cut back to the robot. And then all of a sudden, one of the main enemies just bursts through the door and just stabs it. Just out of nowhere, they just...
Oh, that was fucking sudden.
Yeah! It was just like, that was completely unneeded. You didn't need to kill off this little robot.
I mean, unless he knew he helped out his enemies, did he really need to do that? Like, did he even know he actually helped, that the robot actually helped them?
I don't think they did.
Feel like being a dick?
I really don't think they did. But
it just felt like being a dick.
Yeah. But like the ultimate bullshit moment to me is the actual ending. There is no point in watching this series. I fully admit that. I love Blackrock Shooter, but there is no point in watching the series, so I have no problem spoiling it.
You have no problem spoiling it and talking about it because it's actually so shit.
Yeah. So the entire series.
That's funny.
The entire series has been building up this confrontation between Blackrock Shooter and the actual main antagonist, who I think is called Legion. I can't remember. But
we are legion, for we are many. Sorry.
This is why I was saying it's very similar to the Black Rock Shooter game, because she's basically a stand-in for the game's enemy, who was called White Rock Shooter. And they
Blade counterpart.
yeah, they kind of even look the same. So I'm just kind of I just call her White Rock Shooter Mark II, because that's all she is. And it's like the entire series has been building up this confrontation between the two. We get to it, and it turns out that they don't destroy Legion herself, they just destroy one of her clones, essentially.
Chassis.
Yeah. Throughout the entire story, they establish that her true self is on the moon. And every
that's
time,
some Nier Automata bullshit.
yeah, and every time that we've seen her on Earth, it has been a clone. It is not her true self. And the final battle of the theories is is Black Rock Shooter destroying this clone, not the actual body. And what's weird is that they had the perfect opportunity to destroy Legion properly. Because at the end of the series, Black Rock Shooter gets a power-up and says that, she's putting everything she has into this one blast. It's a blast so big...
And it was all for nothing.
Yeah, it's a blast so big, she could have easily destroyed the moon with it. And taken out Legion.
But no.
Yeah, so then Black Rock Shooter literally sacrifices herself to destroy a clone. She doesn't stop anything. She just destroys this clone, which Legion just create a new one of. And so then we jump, I think it's like 50 years into the future. And like the remains of humanity have built a rocket to take the battle to Legion. Like, they just blast this rocket off into space. And then the series ends with Black Rock Shooter suddenly back to life. No explanation whatsoever. She's just alive again. And it ends there. Like, they don't actually fight Legion on the moon. They don't even reach the moon.
Sounds like a cliffhanger ending to something we're never gonna get.
Yep. It was such a bullshit ending. It's like they were so trying to tease a second season, but it's like, no, it's not gonna happen. And it's like, it's only then, right at the end, with Black Rock Shooter reappearing in space, do they actually play Black Rock Shooter's theme song.
The one that's named after not only the show, but the protagonist.
Yep.
The one with the same track. And it's like, what the...
It's only then, right at the end, do they actually play the theme song.
You hear the iconic fucking thing.
And what's weird is, it doesn't actually fit.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't suit. It doesn't suit what's going on screen.
I know, like, the usual thing is like a whole hyped up track and whatever. And then, oh goodness, at the end, it's like, it doesn't fit having this like hyped up thing, like, because I'm guessing what's happening while the thing's playing is like very mellow and calm, not like hyped up or whatever.
No, it's literally all that happens is that they notice Blackrock Shooter appearing, and then the song starts playing, and then Blackrock Shooter just prepares to shoot, and then it just ends. And it's like the part of the song that's playing is like this very gentle, like the very gentle mellow part at the start.
Black Rock Shooter. Kind of like a like a lullaby.
Yeah, it just doesn't suit what they're trying to build up.
Sounds like somebody didn't. Sounds like somebody doesn't know how to direct shit.
Hmm.
Because all it sounds like it's random, and then at the end, the parts don't fit what it's supposed to.
Hmm. Yeah, like I said, the Dawnfall just comes off as a poor man's remake of the game, and even then, the game's story is shit.
They somehow made worse something that's already bad, basically.
Oh yeah, the game's story ends with quite literally Blackrock Shooter and this one other character who I cannot remember the name of being the only two people left alive on the planet.
The sole survivors.
Yeah, and they're both girls. So the game ends with the death of humanity, essentially.
Oh. What a weird fucking franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still not as complicated as the whole transition from Drakengard to Nier.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, hey, did you know that literally the backstory of Nier is the third ending of Drakengard 3,
it's worse.
where
No,
giant babies drop from the sky.
no,
or some fuck shit.
it's worse than that. The final ending of the original Drakengard, which created the entire Nier franchise, was a joke ending.
Well, now you see how far the joke became.
Yep.
Now there's a constant meme about don't put your pen in the Android. Also, super polygonal Android butt.
I mean, I do like the idea of using what's
Automata.
no using like endings which are kind of a joke or not really meant to be taken serious or whatever, but then actually continuing
Making
them.
more out of
Actually making more out of it.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely an interesting idea, which even I've kind of dabbled in with like the stories that I've made. Like I've come up with bad endings and then
kind of reminds me of the Marvel series of What If. What if this was different? What if this happened instead of what's supposed to, and how things go? For example, the like recent animated What If series, the whole thing with Ultron winning, and how you have literally just Hawkeye and Black Widow surviving, trying to hack Infinity Ultron or whatever, or give him a virus, and then that backfires, but then that's something else.
Yeah, I love the idea of having an ending which might just be not really considered
which
canon.
isn't the canon
Yeah,
one.
it's not
but at
canon.
least
It's not meant to be
something else.
something serious, but then the creators actually use that in a creative way.
Mm. Kind of reminds me of the thing is that, oh hey, there's several endings. Well, the way you play Automata and Nier is the same ways that you keep playing. It's like, oh hey, you play for the first time, you reach a ending, but then you replay it again. But there's more cutscenes and whatever that elaborate on some stuff, or you get a different POV of things. And you learn more about the world and the characters and what you're fighting and what you're doing, and basically you get to learn a lot more about other stuff. And then eventually both endings lead to something super fucking weird, which is interesting in its own right. Like, there is, besides the whole thing with one character, there is not much connecting. There is not much connecting a replicant to Automata. And I've played both, and I see little to no connection besides Emil being part of the world and a certain character being based or being very similar to a character in Replicant.
I mean, this isn't. Yeah, it's like it is very, very weird. How the events of Replicants eventually turn into the Nier Automata.
Somehow lead into that or some shit. Yeah.
It is kind of interesting to look at, though. But yeah, it's so weird.
The whole thing at the end too is that it's never like nobody there was ever human. Like when you're actually in the thing running through it, nobody's a human. Everybody's just this somewhat sentient chassis that was made in the image of the person they were for. But then they develop their own sentience, feelings, personality, soul, and it's like, I don't wanna become you. I wanna stay me. Fuck you. Give me my sister back.
What do you know the theory that's a character in Drakengard 3 actually comes from the world of Nier Automata?
I don't know that much about Drakengard, so I do not probably
basically,
not know about that.
Basically, in Drakengard 3, there's a robot character who appears. And she actually has the ability to time travel.
Oh.
She's the one. She kind of acts like the narrator and jumps between the timelines of Drakengard 3 to sort of like make you keep playing, essentially, so you know that, oh, this is timeline A, this is timeline B, this is timeline C, and
to monitor the monitor timelines. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously Drakengard 3 came out way before Nier Automata, so.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of like the whole thing of, oh hey,
but
what's his face? So good.
But she does actually get mentioned in Nier Automata. One of the people in the camp actually name drops her. So it's widely assumed that she actually comes from the timeline of Nier Automata and then travels back into the world of Drakengard.
Okay.
And which is kind of funny when you think about it. It's like, okay, so the events of Drakengard created the events of Nier Automata, of the Nier franchise, and a character from the Nier franchise appears in Drakengard.
Traveled back. Yeah. That kind of reminds me of the whole thing of there was a character in one of the DLCs for the original Dark Souls, something Chester,
Hmm.
who he was very different because he seemed like part of the what is it? What you would call it? Old time London. The long leather coats, the top hat,
Ah.
and whatever.
Hmm.
And then later down the line we got Bloodborne,
Hmm.
and it's like this Chester character dresses and fights like the characters in Bloodborne, because it's like, oh, you don't, it's how Dark Souls is all
Yeah.
fantasy, medieval and
Hmm.
shit. Meanwhile, Bloodborne's more, well, significantly modern. Well, hey, there's flintlock guns and other shit and whatever. And everybody dresses around the era of like Sherlock Holmes or whatever the fuck. And then it's like, is this guy, because the reason the DLC takes place further back in time than the base game does. So basically getting traveled back because you got pulled in by basically the manifestation of a manifestation of darkness or whatever, who's basically just this guy that was this hollow undead that just kept getting beaten and resurrected and beaten to death,
Yeah.
resurrected till he just got driven mad and became the darkness or abyss, whatever you want to call it. And for some reason started pulling people from other timelines and places into that time. Hence why the character you make your way there, and this character, and among some others. So it's like everybody, because of that, there's the whole thing of, is Chester from Bloodborne? Because he would fit in perfectly, especially with how crazy a bunch of people are in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
It's a trippy stuff,
I mean,
So,
it's
since you mentioned that, it just reminded me of that.
Yeah. I do like. It is always interesting coming up with like the fan theories that connect certain things together. Because it's like there's even one in the Neptunia franchise. Like it's only a little one, but a lot of people like to say that Neptunia U, which is like the Senran Kagura type game, is actually a sequel to the original Neptunia, rather than all the others. Because they both take place in...
So like an alternative follow-up?
Yeah.
Follow-up.
Because of like they both take place in the same sort of world, but yeah, it was
Things turned out differently. Kind of reminds me of the whole nonsense with the the Zelda timeline.
Oh god.
Still, like, isn't there still a whole thing going on? Like, where does Breath of the Wild and the upcoming sequel fit in? To which timeline is it part of?
I'm pretty certain they specifically made Breath of the Wild the way it was because they didn't want it to fit into the timeline. They wanted people to treat it as its own thing.
Kind of like the... That kind of reminds me just the whole thing of like, hey, Hyrule Warriors it's kind of like this weird nonsense thing. Cause like, oh, hey, you meet people from Skyward Sword. Like you have both the chick from Skyward Sword and Midna and other characters and whatever. And it's like, this isn't supposed to make sense. This is not supposed to make sense at all. It's its own thing.
Yep.
Don't try to fit it into anything.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to. It will have its own story and shit. I mean, like, what's it? Basically, Hyrule Warriors 2 is just the prequel to...
Well,
no. Hyrule Warriors is just a placeholder name for the thing.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors 2 was it starts off as a prequel to Breath of the Wild, but then completely breaks continuity to become its own thing.
So it is an instant. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah,
Oh goodness.
but yeah, it's weird thinking about game continuities and everything. And again, with Neptunia, the original game fucked up the continuity so much they had to start fresh for the sequel.
That's where the rebirth.
Oh no! Back on the PS3, the original Neptunia game made it practically impossible for them to make a sequel. So when they did make a sequel, they had to create a whole new continuity. So most of the Neptunia franchise is based off the Mark II continuity, not the original. Because quite literally, the true ending of the original Neptunia game has the characters surrendering their powers as a CPU.
So they're no longer the goddesses.
Yeah, they're no longer goddesses. They're
To
just
be in every other game.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was the true ending. They surrender their powers.
A true ending that ended up not being canon later on.
That's what makes me laugh, because it's like so you're saying the true ending of this game has the characters surrendering the powers which would help them protect the world.
Later on.
Yeah, so they've essentially doomed their own world. Because they can no longer fight against anything that may come up.
They no longer have their protag power up and other shit. You can see why they didn't stick with that.
That's why I jokingly like to play like to say that because there's a mod for there's many mods, but one of my favorite mods for Left 4 Dead is to have the Neptunia characters replace the main cast. So I like to say that the true ending of the original Neptunia leads into Left 4 Dead.
Oh goodness.
Because it's
something. Even though I can understand why, because of the endings, I'm surprised. I understand why Fairy Fencer didn't take off like Neptunia did.
I mean, to be fair, it is getting a sequel.
Is it really?
It's not an RPG. It's not a traditional RPG. It's more of a. I think it's more like Disgaea or Fire Emblem.
Sounds familiar. Oh, okay. But yeah, no, all I knew is that there's Fairy Fencer F, the original one, and then there's Fairy Fencer F Dark Force or whatever Dark Forces or whatever. Where oh hey, you can actually go for the evil endings.
Yeah, it's like that.
Or whatever.
Oh no! It was like the original Fairy Fencer F had the good ending and the bad ending. Advent Dark Force adds a third option, which is kind of like an in between.
That's the call of it. Advent Dark, yeah.
It has a third route, which is kind of straight down the middle.
Neutral.
Yeah. I think it's called the
lawful evil.
Yeah,
good, evil and neutral.
Yeah, I think it's called like the Dark God route or something like that. I can't remember.
Instead of releasing the goddess or the dark god, you become one yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. I'm just sucking out of how it sounds like.
Yeah, I need to get back to Advent Dark Force.
I should too, but I don't know. Like I liked it. I liked it. I don't know. I preferred it more. I haven't played it. I actually played Fairy Festival, so you could tell like how much I prefer one over the other. Because I mean,
I mean, Advent.
Petunia is fine and all, but it's like I don't know, the Mimi meta stuff of it kind of turns me away from it.
Yeah, I mean, Advent Dark. I mean, Fairy Fencer F was designed to be more appealing to like Western players. Funny enough,
Huh.
it was just meant to be a Neptunia game, which doesn't feel too weeby. To phrase it one way.
Yeah, I can see that. Basically, not as. What do you say?
Not be as upbeat and
Silly.
yeah, not
and
be as
cheesy.
yeah. Which is kind of ironic when you think of the fact that Neptunia Mark II features an ending which Nepgear kills everyone.
Oh yeah, I remember I heard about that. There was this super dark ending where it's like, oh hey, yeah, she just kills everybody, which ended up being a gag and nightmare thing in the anime.
Yep.
Although then it turns out everybody becomes a bunch of dogus.
Yeah,
I still find that so.
that
I still find that creature so weird.
well, Dagu.
Yeah. Like, I understand, it's a dog and a slime, but also kind of looks like a turd.
I mean, to be fair, it literally is just a slime from. It's just a slime from from Dragon Quest. I mean, just with a
Yeah.
doggy face.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I think I should probably call it. Because it's starting to get late, so I gotta get my dinner in.
Yeah. A good 3 hours.
Almost an entire 3 hours just sat here, just chatting about random stuff.
Basically a podcast.
Yep.
It basically has been a podcast.
This is what I like to do. But I very rarely get an opportunity to.
The funny thing? I've been deaf and in a call this whole time since I got it on VRChat.
Okay. So, again, thank you all for joining today. Thank you again for all the follows, all the subs, all the bits. I guess I gotta prepare another cosplay stream for Discord since you've reached that goal. So I'll have to organize that next month. Again, no stream, like I said, on Thursday because I've got to work these next 2 days. So the Patreon stream this week will be happening on Friday. So not a big change, but yeah. Let's see. Let's have a look, see.
You looking for somebody?
I hate it when it does this. Sometimes it lets me click on the icons that I want to, and sometimes it doesn't. It annoys the hell out of me. Okay, let's have a look, see. So I'm gonna send you over to Put. She's playing some Power Wash Simulator. The game that I cannot stream because it sends me to sleep.
Mood.
Yep. If you're outside interested, please consider join the Discord, follow on Twitter and YouTube, all the good stuff. Please give the Patreon a look as I bring on Lego supporting the future stream. Like I said, I'll be back on Friday, the Patreon stream. Which thankfully will be starting a different game after weeks of South Park. Anyway. Go show Put some love.
Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.
Oh my fucking god. You know the funny thing? A friend just sent me